The manifest says agricultural equipment. But you know exactly what's inside those 40-foot containers heading to a war zone you'll never step foot in. You're sitting in a shipping office, fluorescent lights, a cold coffee, a laptop with 3 open windows, freight codes, transit routing, a payment confirmation. No one walks past your desk and knows. No camera catches anything suspicious. The paperwork is clean. The company is real. The cargo is not. You made $2.3 million last year. Commission only. You never touched a single weapon. This is how it works. And this is the story of how you got here, level by level, decision by decision, until the exit door disappeared behind you. You don't start in the arms trade, nobody does. You start in freight. Import-export documentation. Cargo routing for a mid-sized logistics firm in Dubai or Antwerp. You're good at your job. You understand shipping lanes, customs classifications, and how cargo moves around the edges of regulations without technically breaking them. Then someone approaches you. Not a criminal, not obviously. A business contact through a business contact. Friendly, professional. He has a proposition. He needs certain shipments redirected through a transit hub with, he uses the word, fewer questions. He doesn't say what's in the cargo. You don't ask. He offers to double your monthly retainer. You think about it for 2 days. You say yes. The paperwork goes through. The shipment moves. Nothing happens. Nobody calls. Nobody investigates. It feels like nothing, because it looks like nothing. That's the architecture of this whole world. It's built to look exactly like everything else. You don't know what you just moved. And for now, that's exactly how they want it. The next ask is slightly different. Your contact needs documentation. Not cargo, just paperwork, specifically an end-user certificate. A legal form that certifies who will receive a shipment and how it will be used. He sends you a template. It's formatted like every other government export form you've ever processed. The destination listed is Jordan. The authorizing official's name is printed at the bottom. Your job is to fill in the logistics details and return it signed. The destination is not Jordan. You know this. He knows you know this. Neither of you say it. UN weapons monitoring panels have documented this exact mechanism for decades. The fraudulent end-user certificate is one of the most reliable tools in illegal arms diversion. It creates a legal paper trail pointing the wrong direction. By the time anyone follows the chain, the cargo is long gone and the documents pass every surface-level check. You type the ministry official's name. You've never met him. You'll never meet him. You send the file. You tell yourself, this is data entry. I work in logistics. I process documents. One signature. That's all it took to make an illegal shipment completely legal on paper. The real work begins at 3 in the morning. You're coordinating your first full end-to-end shipment. The aircraft is a Soviet-era Ilyushin IL-76, a massive, heavy-lift cargo plane that's been the workhorse of illegal arms, flows across Africa and the Middle East for 30 years. It's registered to a shell company in a jurisdiction that doesn't ask questions. The company has no employees, no office, no history beyond a registration date and a post office box. You track the flight on a laptop, GPS ping moving across the screen. You watch it take off. You watch it cross borders that have no idea what's happening 38,000 feet above them. You watch it land. 40 minutes later, a number appears in an offshore account. Real money, immediate, untraceable. The world didn't stop, no alarm went off, no phone rang. You sat in the same chair, in the same office, and the entire thing happened as quietly as an email. That's the moment. That's the one that changes you, not the first conversation, not the first document. The moment you realize, the system works. And nobody is watching. This industry doesn't run on evil people. It runs on ordinary people who are very good at looking the other way. You stop thinking of it as something you stumbled into. This is your business now. You have a logistics coordinator in Riga who handles Eastern European routing. A financial contact in Cyprus who moves money through structures that would take investigators years to untangle. A compliance consultant in London, his actual title, who ensures your paperwork survives any surface audit. You've never met any of them in person. Your name appears nowhere in their files. This is standard architecture in the weapons brokering world. The Wassenaar Arrangement, an international export control agreement among 42 nations, specifically identifies arms, brokering as a critical risk category. But it only applies within signatory states. Your transit hubs are not signatory states. Your shell companies are registered in jurisdictions that never signed. Every shipment passes through 3 to 5 separate entities before it reaches a buyer. Each entity exists in a different country. Each country has different laws. By the time the chain is traced, if it's ever traced, the shipment is years gone and most of the entities have been dissolved. You are not a criminal, you are infrastructure. You built something most people don't even know exists, and it worked because it looked exactly like legitimate trade. This call is different. The contact is government level. You can tell immediately the precision of the language, the way he references volume and timeline as though he's reading from a procurement schedule. He is reading from a procurement schedule. The buyer is a state, not a warlord, not a militia. A government, one operating under full UN arms embargo. The kind of buyer where every international regulation and every treaty ever signed exists specifically to stop this transaction from happening. The scale is 10 times anything you've handled. Payment comes in 3 streams, a commodity trade arrangement, an offshore transfer through 3 jurisdictions, and a portion in a form that doesn't appear on any wire transfer record. The UN Somalia Monitoring Group and the Liberia Sanctions Committee have both documented this kind of payment structure in verified cases: cash, diamonds, oil for arms. It's not unusual. It's procedure. There is a pause before you answer. A real one. Seconds of silence on the line. You've redirected shipments. You've falsified destinations. You've moved cargo that you've chosen not to examine too closely. Every one of those decisions could be explained, interpreted, defended. This one can't. You say yes. You told yourself regimes buy weapons anyway. You're just the logistics. But somewhere, in a room you'll never see, people are about to die with equipment that passed through your hands. The first sign is a manifest you didn't file. It turns up in a partner's email, a routing document for a shipment 3 months ago. The details are accurate. The format is yours, but you didn't send it to him. Your contact in Riga stops returning calls for 4 days. When he finally answers, his answers are short and slightly off-tempo. Like he's reading from notes. Or someone is listening. A new business connection, introduced through a London associate, starts asking questions that are slightly too specific. He knows terminology that takes years to learn. He asks about a particular transit route. Twice. This is how long-term surveillance operations work. The ATF, Europol, and various UN monitoring bodies run investigations on suspected brokers that can span a decade. Viktor Bout, whose cargo airline network supplied conflicts across Africa and the Middle East, was surveilled for over 10 years before a joint D and US government sting operation in Bangkok led to his arrest in 2008. The people being watched almost never know. Until they do. You tell yourself you're paranoid. You run through every decision from the past year, looking for the exposure point. You find 3 possible ones, then 5, then you stop counting. You don't sleep well anymore. The most dangerous moment in this business isn't when you do the deal, it's the silence afterward. You find the photograph by accident? A newswire image, an open browser tab. You almost close it. It's from a conflict zone, aftermath of an engagement, rubble, debris. In the background of the frame, almost out of shot, there's a crate, partially open. Standard heavy cargo specification, stenciled markings on the side. You've seen those markings before, in your own documentation. From a shipment 14 months ago. In 2013, a joint investigation by Amnesty International and Conflict Armament Research traced weapons, AK pattern rifles, RPGs, ammunition, from Eastern European stockpiles through broker networks into active conflict zones in Syria and Libya. The weapons were photographed in the hands of groups involved in documented civilian casualties. The investigators traced the chain. The brokers at the far end of it were never charged. You have maintained distance from everything. The paperwork, the intermediaries, the shell companies, the transit hubs. Everything exists to ensure that you are never in the same sentence as what happens at the end of the chain. The photograph closes that distance in 3 seconds. You close the tab. You open it again. You close it again. You sit there for a long time. You never pulled a trigger. But somewhere between the manifest and the morning news, you ran out of ways to explain that it wasn't you. The message comes at 6:47 in the morning. Your Cyprus contact has been arrested. Not on arms charges, on financial crimes. Money laundering. But you know what financial crimes lead to. You know how investigators follow chains. You have 72 hours, possibly less, before your name surfaces somewhere in his files. Brokers almost never go down because of weapons. They go down because of money, financial transactions, informants. The Leonid Menin case, a Ukrainian broker arrested in a Milan hotel room in 2000, was broken when investigators found weapons contracts, rough diamonds, and cash among his personal effects during an unrelated hotel incident. The weapons charges didn't stick in Italian courts. The financial exposure did. You have resources. You've been paid extraordinarily well for years. You have contacts in jurisdictions that don't cooperate with extradition requests. You have identities on documents in a safe you've been building toward for exactly this possibility. You built this network to be invisible. You built it to survive exposure. You are extremely good at making things, companies, shipments, paper trails, disappear completely. The question you're sitting with now, in this quiet office at 6:47 in the morning, is whether you're good enough to make yourself disappear too. And whether, if you do, there's anywhere left to go that you'd want to be. You built a ghost, a company with no face, no name, no address. And now the only way out is to become one. Somewhere right now, a freight coordinator in a nondescript office is looking at a shipment request. The numbers look good. The paperwork looks clean. The contact seems professional. The retainer is double what the job is worth. And the question they're asking themselves, the same one you asked, the same one everyone in this world has asked, is, who would ever know? The answer, you now understand, is nobody. Until suddenly everybody does. The manifest said agricultural equipment.